There we are.
It's very hard to innovate in the first-person adventure genre. Like it or not, these games have earned the title of the walking simulator because you do nothing in them but walk. Firewatch is another one of these games that will do little to change your mind, but what it does tell is a really fascinating story. Unfortunately though, despite the beautiful world and great story, there are a few issues that keep Firewatch from being the brightest flame burning in the world. Hi, my name is Richard and I'm here to review Firewatch for the PlayStation 4.
Good morning, Henry. Well, I guess good afternoon. You probably slept like a rock. Anyway, there's still a few hours of daylight to get some work in. I can see you at your desk, so call me when you're ready.
Hey, sorry, guess I slept in.
Firewatch takes place in 1989. You are Henry, a man who takes up a job as a fire lookout in the Two Forks region of Wyoming in order to escape his crumbling life. His wife has got dementia, and he can no longer care for her. He only has one person to communicate with while he's there, his supervisor Delilah, who he never sees and can only communicate with via radio. The story focuses on their blossoming relationship and the mystery that the two of them get involved in. The story is actually really good. The biggest strength of Firewatch is its two main characters and their developing relationship. Since the two of them only have each other for company, it's interesting how they both start off and end. Henry seems to only tolerate Delilah at first, but quickly strikes up a friendship with her, and their conversations are natural and entertaining. I enjoyed every word, every moment. I loved being able to comment on things and hear her response, and hear the back and forth between them. It really is natural, and the voice acting does a lot to help as well. I enjoyed the mystery as well, and it had a lot of neat twists, and I've seen some people complain about the ending, but I thought it really suited the story well. And so overall, I think Firewatch's story is actually really strong, and in these kind of games, that's kind of important, so I can give a tick to Firewatch for the story front.
Hey, sorry about that. Anyway, I thought about it, and that story is cute, and, sorry, but you said we? You owned him with someone?
That would be my wife, Julia.
Oh, like your wife? Or like she's taken half my stuff wife?
My wife.
Firewatch is a first-person adventure game. You can explore the Two Forks region, though you are usually dictated to where you can go with a goal. You are free, though, to explore some of the region. It's not terribly big, but it's still a nice area to explore. You can pick up objects and examine them. You can do things such as jump across rocks and climb up stuff to access certain areas. Henry's not exactly agile, but he can certainly make his way around the park quite easily. But the gameplay is nothing to write home about. Firewatch is a very slow game that has a lot of exploration and really kind of expects you to kind of sit back and smell the roses. It doesn't expect you to kind of go rushing into things or anything like that. So there isn't really a whole lot to say. You can pick up objects, you can look at them, you can read notes. stuff like that. The cool thing that I kind of mentioned in the story earlier, you have a radio, and when you kind of see an object with kind of a radio icon next to it, you can pick up your radio and contact Delilah, and kind of you'll get another little interesting conversation, which I quite like. I always kind of look forward to finding the next item I could comment on and get more dialogue, because the dialogue is really good and the voice acting is excellent. So the gameplay it works, it's fine for this type of game, so don't be expecting kind of anything kind of game breaking here. This is kind of your typical walk around, kind of explore and kind of take in the story and take in the environment kind of game.
I love how they look at night. During the day it's just smoke, but when the sun is down you can just get lost.
Graphically, Firewatch runs on the Unity engine, and it probably is one of the best looking games I have seen use the engine. The forest is very well detailed, there's some really nice foliage, really nice effects with the sun, the shadows are quite nice. Textures are up close, are not very good, I will admit. They're very kind of low res and pretty gnarly, but in general, the graphics look really nice. The game also has a very unique art style that kind of really suits the game to a T, and the lighting is generally quite nice. However, the graphics do come at a cost, which I will mention in a minute. But graphically, I think the game looks quite nice. Now we come to the second strongest element of the game, the sound and the music. The music is absolutely fantastic. It'll kick in at certain moments while you're walking the environment, and it is so beautiful. It uses a brilliant guitar track, and it uses these great kind of synthesizer-like sounds. I love them. Chris Remo, who did a great job on Gone Home, has once again knocked it out of the park with Firewatch. I love the soundtrack, and I really want to get the soundtrack so bad. It's very relaxing, and it really does a great job of adding to the atmosphere that the game so desperately tries to build. The voice acting is brilliant. You need it to be, because you've got really two main characters, and they will be talking a lot. Rich Sommer and Cissy Jones both do a fantastic job, and they sound natural and believable, and I love their delivery. I absolutely love it. They've just done a stellar job. Absolutely fantastic. So the sound and music, absolutely perfect. I have no complaints. None at all. So that's another thing I can definitely say is a really good thing about Firewatch.
The rains down in Africa.
Firewatch has some major performance issues. At random times, the game will just start to drop frames. It seems to happen mostly when either you're kind of rappelling down rocks, it'll drop in frames. It's a certain area, and the frame rate tends to stutter when new areas of the environment are loaded in, and when the game auto saves, the game tends to stutter. I'm surprised none of this was found in the QA testing, because these are some pretty noticeable issues. At the moment, I'm not aware if these issues affect the PC version, because I'm only playing the PlayStation 4 version, but yeah, it's a huge problem. They have said they're working on a patch to fix it, so maybe by the time this review comes out, this issue might have been fixed. But there are also there are a multitude of bugs and glitches. I've had moments where I've had objects clip through the environment. I've had this really weird bug where it happened to me twice. The first time it happened, the game was loading in the next day, because the game takes place over the length of the summer, and it kind of goes from day 1 to day 2, stuff like that. I was loading into the next day, and all of a sudden, I loaded in, and the environment had it loaded. I was staring at a blue screen, and then 2 seconds later, the environment just popped right in front of me. And I was like, whoa. So, I thought, this is a one-time bug. So then I stopped playing it a few nights and went to bed, came back the next day, loaded up my save. I had the same bug happen to me again. It loaded in all the objects. It actually allowed me to find an item I was looking for, and then the environment just popped right in front of me again. So that's a really weird bug. I really hope they fix that, because again, it really takes you out of the experience. But that's it in terms of performance issues, bugs, and glitches. Firewatch, depending on how long you take to kind of explore the environment, it will take you about 4 hours, maybe 3 if you're really maybe 5 if you're really taking your time. Your first playthrough, it'll take around 4 to 5 hours. Second time you play it through, you'll knock it out in about 2 to 3. So the game is not very long as well, and they are charging €20 for this game. It's a few years extra if you want the dynamic theme version. It comes with the game and a dynamic Firewatch theme. I'm going to say right now, despite the fact that I have enjoyed this game, I like the story, and I think it's beautiful, and I think people should play it, I don't think it's worth the price. It's too expensive for what you're getting, and I personally would wait for a sale. So, yeah, that's what I think in terms of value for money. So, time to give my final conclusion. Firewatch is definitely an interesting experience. I really enjoyed the story. I loved the two main characters and their relationship that kind of blossomed as the game goes on. I think that's the game's strongest aspect. And I really think the two characters are likable. I loved their conversations, whether it be about something mundane or something interesting. Graphically, the game looks beautiful. I love the art style, and I think the music and the voice acting are excellent. But the short length, and the bugs really drag this game down, and it really kind of ruins the experience. But I really do think once they fix this game, and once they've dropped the price, I do think it's worth a go. You will enjoy the story, you will enjoy the relationship between the two main characters, and you will just love it for what it is. So I'm going to give Firewatch a 7.5 out of 10, and I do think it's worth playing at some point. So that's Firewatch. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you liked it, please be sure to hit the like button. If you want to leave a comment, I always read the comments. Be sure to, if you have any feedback about the review, if you want me to review a certain game, be sure to let me know in the comments. Follow me on Twitter at RichardG234. And as always, guys, till I see you again, take very good care, and I hope you have a very good day. Bye.